Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing one of the 52 project recipe layouts that came in our spiral bound book that we got for the CM birthday last October. And I think, if I'm not wrong, this is number 6. But I'll tell you at the very beginning when we get started in my workspace. But I think it's number 6. I'll have to pull that out and double check. Anyway, this one comes together really quick and really easy, which I think we've earned, especially if you've hung in there with me for the last couple of layouts that we've done. We've spent a lot of time paper piecing and doing a lot of tedious work. This one is not tedious at all. It's super fast, super easy. You're going to love it. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, here's my workspace for today, and I'm going to be creating a layout out of the most recent project book that came out in October. This is the 52 Project Recipes book, and I'm a little bit behind, but this is recipe number 6. So if you're trying to keep up with the 52 recipes and getting those all done by the end of the year, this is one of them, but just know that if you've been diligent about doing one every single week, then this one you've probably already done. But I really like it, and I'm not sure if it's just the tone on tone that is used in this, because they did use the Lime Tart collection to create this. But I just really like the layout, and I really like how balanced it all is. It just really makes my heart happy. So we're going to recreate this and use a different punch and use different paper, and you'll see how completely different it looks because everything will be changed except for the layout. So we're going to use the Border Maker system and the Rainbow Border Maker cartridge. I'm going to use the Feeling Bright collection of papers, and we are going to get started. This should be really fun. I have permanent and repositionable adhesive available. We'll get to those when it's time to assemble. So I'll set those over there. And for right now, we're just going to flip to the second page to the cutting guide. So we're going to look at this right here, and we're going to cut these 3 papers that I've chosen from the Feeling Bright collection. So Feeling Bright is a little bit of an older collection. It's been around for a couple of years now. So if you don't have it, you might not be able to find it, but just know that this is a layout that you can use any collection for. You need 3 pieces of paper. I'm going to walk you through any specific recommendations that I might have for which papers to choose for which designer paper number, just in case that helps you. But yeah, you can use anything with these, so don't get discouraged. Find a collection that you like, get it out, take a look at the papers you have left or that are available, find 3 of them that you like, and go for it. What do you have to lose, right? So the first designer paper that we're going to use, we're cutting in half, and it's going to be a significant part of the base of the layout. I'm going to use this one with all the words on it for that portion. So we're going to just cut this one in half at 6 inches. So I'm going to bring it out here to my little cheater marker right here and make sure that it is at 6 inches. There. Okay, so then I'm going to just do like that, and we're going to separate that in half. Make sure that it's upright, so the top of it is up here at the top of your trimmer when you cut it, because you do want a vertical cut for that one. All right, then designer paper number 2, we're going to punch a border, and we're going to use the back side of a couple of the pieces, and then the rest of these are mats. So that paper you need to really like both sides of. I'm going to use the rainbow paper mostly because I want to be able to punch the rainbow, and so that's what I'm going to use. This has polka dots on the back, which I don't not like, So we're going to do that with that one. And just because I already have the trimmer out, we're going to go ahead and proceed with designer paper number 3, which is the suns. And it has a really nice rainbow stripe on the back that's very pinstripey looking. But I'm going to use the sun side because this layout for me is all about sunshine. Okay, so we're going to cut this at 6.5 inches going this way. And then we're going to turn the 6.5 inch piece to the side and cut 2 4.5 inch pieces. So we're making a few mats here. So 4.5 and then 4.5. Set those up there in front so you don't forget about them. This is an extra piece, so it's going to go over there. Then we're going to take the remaining piece, which is a 5.5 inch piece. We're going to turn it into a 4.5 inch piece. So we're going to measure it to 4.5 inches and then trim off that extra inch. This is extra. It's going to go off to the side. Then we're going to turn this to the side and cut 2 more 4.5 inch pieces to make 2 square 4.5 by 4.5 inch mats. Okay, and then this extra piece just gets set to the side. Now I'm going to take my rainbow paper, and the first thing, so I'm going to cut this backwards because I'm going to punch last. And so just bear with me. I'm going to start with this side, which normally we don't do, but just because I already have my trimmer out and I want to be able to just put it away and not worry about it anymore, I'm just going to go ahead and start here. So I'm measuring to the 6 inch mark to cut these mats right here. All right, so we're going to cut to 6 inches, which is half. Then we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut 2 of them at 4 inches. So there's 1, and here is 2. So 2 of them at 4 inches. Then we're going to take this piece and we're going to turn it back around and we're going to cut it at 3 inches. So we have 2 that are 3 by 4. See, just like that. All right, then we're going to come back to this piece and we're going to cut 2 pieces that are, let's see. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We are going to cut this in half. So we're going to cut this at 3 inches. Cut down the middle at 3 inches. And then I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to put it away and I'm going to grab my border maker system. All right, so we're going to punch 2 of these borders. So I'm going to load this one this way. I'm going to come in through. So if you're not familiar with which border maker cartridge I'm talking about, it's this one. This is called the Rainbow Border Maker cartridge. This came out in 2022. I remember because because I went to Creative Minds that year, and this was in our special stuff that we got for being a guest at Creative Minds, which was the Creative Memories Conference in St. Paul. So super fun. And you get some great shapes from this punch. You get all these cute little arches, like happy faces. They're super cute. And lots of little eyeball type dots. All right, so we've got that one. We're going to set that aside. Then we're going to do one more. And I'm going to actually flip this so that we're cutting from a different direction, which isn't always necessary to do. It just depends on how obvious of a pattern you have in the paper that you're using. There we go. Okay, and now I know I told you you could put your trimmer away, or at least I thought I was done with mine, but I'm going to pull my trimmer back out and I'm going to measure so that I have 1.5 inches. So I'm measuring on the left at 1.5 inches. And then we're going to set those over here. Same thing with this piece. So 1.5 inches. And then those will go over there. Okay. Now we're ready to assemble. So let's get, oh, you know what? I did forget. I need to cut one more piece. I need a piece of base paper, or cardstock, sorry. A piece of cardstock. And I think the color that I want to use is I want to use a light green. But I think I'm going to use marsh green. Alright, so we need just one sheet of a matching cardstock, something that you like that goes with the papers you're using. So then we've got a 6-inch piece here, we've got 1.5 inches here, so that makes 7.5. That means this piece is going to be 4.5. So we need 2 pieces that are 4.5 inches. And if you wanted to, you could just use your naked page for this piece. You don't have to cut a piece for this. Or you could build your layout on cardstock and use 2 full sheets, and then you don't have to worry about cutting these pieces for that either. Alright, but if you don't want to use a full sheet of cardstock because you're building your layout on your page, but you do still want the color, then you'll want to cut 2 at 4.5 inches. I'm going to turn my pages, grab my permanent adhesive, and I'm going to start with this cardstock. This is going to go down right at the jeeping in the center of my page. And if you don't know what jeeping is the thicker material that goes down right next to the hinges or goes down on the outside of the page. And what that does is it allows your pages to sit more evenly, because it just gives a little bit of a lift to the edge of the page and allows the papers that are on your page to not sit as heavily on top of each other. So it's a very nice feature, very nice thing to have on your page. And to my knowledge, CM has always had that, but then again, I haven't been around CM for its entire existence. Only since before the turn of the century. Ooh, that makes me sound really old, doesn't it? 1999 is when I started scrapping with CM. So, definitely old company. But not at the inception of the company. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it very well, but that's all I'm trying to say. Okay. So then we're going to take our 6x12 pieces, and those are going to go right next to the cardstock. All right. And then we're going to take our rainbow piece, and we're going to flip it over and place it dot side up. We're putting our adhesive on the ombre rainbow side. Alright, my adhesive is not grabbing. There we go. I'm about halfway through this cartridge and it just likes to complain at me. And that's not unusual for this type of a dispenser. So if you got the jumbo adhesive and yours is complaining at you too when you get about that far, that's not unusual. Just know that. Alright, so we're going to build it that far. Then we're going to take our... Oh dear, where did the other one go? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Now I'm going to take the next page and we're going to do something similar to the next page. So let me get these photos off of here. We're going to build it the same way. So we're going to come in here with cardstock. And the cardstock is going to go down right next to the jeeping in the center. So the side with the hinge is the side this starts on. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and take our word paper again. This is going to go down right next to the cardstock. And then our rainbow paper will go down right next to here. All right. Now, coming back to the left-hand side of the layout, we are going to go ahead and grab our repositionable adhesive. And the repositionable adhesive is going to go right on top of the rainbows. And I'm not going to actually put any adhesive out here on the rainbow. I'm only going to put it right there on the inside edge. And then this is going to go down right on the edge of the words. Okay, then we're going to flip this over and do the same thing on this side. And I'm using repositionable because sometimes when you go to put this down, you have to lift it back up and adjust it, and it's just easier to do all the way around with repositionable adhesive. So you will have less headaches if you use repositionable adhesive on that. Plus, if I had wanted to, I could have used the repositionable to adhere the actual arched part of the rainbow onto that. All right, so let's flip back again to the left-hand side of the layout. Now we're going to have our photos, and let me see here. So these three are going to be on the other side. These three are going to be on this side. They're going to go like this. So remember, if you watched my video on Wednesday, we talked about how the how we got on these cute little horse-drawn buggies, and we went for a fun ride through Killarney National Park. And we didn't really know that I didn't really know we were going to be stopping anywhere. I thought we were going all the way to a waterfall and then we were going to be stopping. But as it turned out, there were a couple of places that we stopped on the way to the waterfall. So this is one. This is our walking up to the very first place that we stopped. It is an old, when I say old, I mean quite old, friary. They call it the Muckross Friary. I'm not sure where the name Muckross comes from, but it looks like this was built in 1445, so been around just a little while. And it's well known, and it is a tourist destination because, as you'll see in photos, not this time but next time, there is a beautiful, beautiful elm tree that has grown right in the center of the abbey portion of, or the chapel portion of the friary, which is so pretty. So we'll get to that in a day or two, but we were super excited to go and see it. And when we got there, we had to walk through a graveyard area. And in the graveyard area, we noticed, quite by accident, or maybe not by accident, but we certainly didn't set out with the intention of finding grave markers that had my mother's maiden name. And so that set us to searching, and so we ended up going through the whole graveyard. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself because that's a story for pictures on another day. So these photos that we're doing today are just walking up to the friary and enjoying all the learning and the history that we were finding out about. Now I only have 3 photos on this page, but you can see that there is another mat here, and if I wanted to, I could have added a couple more photos to this. I could have added one here and one the same size on the other page. As it is, I think we'll probably use the blue band there to journal. And you can see that I'm using the mats that we cut earlier to go underneath my photos. It's always nice. I like matting my photos most of the times. I don't do it every time, but I think it is nice, and a lot of times it will set off, will set a photo apart a little bit better than just putting it on your page. Sort of gives it a finishing touch, if you will. Okay, so there are actually 4 different sizes of photos on these pages. There are 4x4s, which I'm mounting one of the 4x4s right now. there's a 4x6, and there's a 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay. And once you have already mounted a photo on a page, if you are doing a layout like this, I like to put my pages together so that I can make sure, or I can try and allow the level of the photos on the next page to start at the same place. The best way I know to do that is just to match the pages up and put those together. And then if you keep your borders a similar size, then your pages should line up really nicely. This is the map of the Friary, and you can see that here they have marked the yew tree. I think I said it was an elm tree before, but it's a yew tree in the cloister court, which is right out in the middle there. It's a gorgeous tree. I was just super happy when I saw pictures of it. All right. So I flipped this upside down just to kind of give it a little bit of variety. And it also matches up with this. Not that that matters too much, but I just thought it would be nice. All right, so we can do some embellishing on this page if we want to. It doesn't need a whole lot of embellishing, but it would be nice, I think, to add to it a little bit. They've got embellishing here and here, and then they used this square for journaling, and so they embellished in this square as well. I used it for a photo because I had 6 photos that I needed or wanted to put on this page. So I will use these strips here for my journaling, but I can add embellishing up above or off to the side, and same thing over here. So let's see what I can come up with, and we'll fast forward to that point. I love this cute little rainbow with the pot of gold at the end, so I think we'll include that. And maybe add a lucky shamrock onto it. Where should we put that? Maybe down here. Got some ribbons, stickers we can add. Let's see. Put those on like that. Maybe add one of these in there too. Down the middle. Say, lucky me, I have you. And we'll add a couple shamrocks to that one too, just because we can. And I think that's all I'm going to do on that. Maybe we should put something up here, but I'm just not sure what to put up there. Maybe we'll put this. May the luck of the Irish always be with you. We'll add a shamrock or two. Lots of color on these pages, but I think that works well. And I love how every time you do a project recipe, no matter what paper you use, it looks like a totally different layout. Look at that. Completely different. I love it. It's so fun. What kind of papers are you going to use to make yours? I want to see. I wish there was a way that I could see. If you want to email me a picture of your finished product, I would love to see. Go ahead and email me at momscreativemoments@gmail.com. It's actually momscrmoments@gmail.com. Also, I hope you're going to join me for the March Magic Sketch Challenge that we're having. Information about that is also in the details of this video. So I hope that you'll join us for that. There'll be lots of fun prizes given away and lots of fun projects, maybe like this one. Thanks so much for joining me today. This was a quick one. I like that. I bet you do too. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day.